Hello everybody, welcome to tonight's stream. We got another one again tonight. We've got a Anycubic Resin printer that is supposed to be almost equivalent to that big frozen that you saw me work through the other day. And you guys can tell this box is kind of worse for the wear, but you know, contrary to normal practice, I already opened it to make sure it was okay because it looked like a forklift had just gone into the box, and I wanted to make sure everything looked okay. But this is the Anycubic M3 Max. This is the big boy. This is their large scale printer that is supposed to be almost a rival to that frozen Mega 8K. So we're going to get this guy out of the box tonight. We're going to take a look at it, and we're going to see what trouble we can get into with this one. Because yeah, I'm working on reorganizing my shop, getting all these printers in here that we've got floating around in there. So kind of one of those things. It's I need it out of the box. So instead of waiting till Tuesday, I went ahead and did it. Decided, you know what, we didn't do a stream last Tuesday because I was sick. Well, I was just under the weather. Not COVID or anything like that, just wasn't feeling well. And so I decided, let's do this tonight. Let's get this guy out of the box so I can get it in the shop. And before this holiday weekend, which I hope everyone is having a great holiday weekend, before the holiday weekend ended, and I still had another one day off from work to start working with it. So, you know, for the fun of it, let's get this guy out of the box. So you guys can tell it is a massive box. It is not as heavy as the frozen was. Oh! But they actually put a steel support frame in here to ship the printer in, that I'm actually going to have to dismantle. So I will show you that frame here in a second. There's some honking big zip ties in here that I need to undo. So, but it looks like to undo this frame, I need some Allen wrenches. And I doubt I have the size laying around here. That is a smaller one, so I need to walk back and get some tools that I did not expect to need tonight. That is not a cheap metal frame either. That is a pretty good sized frame they used. We'll get the tool cabinet here. Grab the handy dandy toolbox here, and pretty sure I have some Allen wrenches in here, and I do. So we'll put those to use tonight. So hopefully everybody's having a great holiday weekend. And again, just saying it to everybody that served and everything, thank you for your service and keeping this great country going. But just kind of, if you're out on the stream tonight, let me know where you're from. While I dismantle all this metal that you can't see. This is a bit of a new one. I'm used to seeing a lot of the plastic holding, you know, the really strong cardboard or the plastic holding one of these frames in place. I'm never seeing a metal frame like this, but as big as this printer is, it does not surprise me that they went with a really sturdy frame to send this guy out. So this printer retails for about this one goes for about $1,200, which compared to the frozen Mega 8K is a heck of a price difference. Oh man, they really secured this thing. Like I said, guys, it has a metal frame in here to keep it safe during shipping, and you can tell it didn't go well. frame got pretty beat up in the process of shipping. But from what I could tell, the printer looked fine. So we will see once I get it out of the box here. Which I'm almost there. I've got about 4 more bolts and I've got this out. So, hey Doug, vacation was good. It was good to get away, but unfortunately the cost of vacation is I gotta get back to work. I am behind. Came back, caught a cold, didn't work for about 4 or 5 days. Hence no stream earlier this week. And I'm starting to really kind of start to grind back into business here because we got to get going. We got prints to do, man. And this new M3 is part of that workflow. That, and I just finally got the rest of my parts for the frozen, which some of those parts will also go into this printer, like the screen protector and stuff like that. Right now, they have not offered to send me that printer, and so I don't know if I'll be getting that one or not. I kind of hope to, but right now it is not on the plate, unfortunately. But yeah, here's what I mean by shipping didn't go too well. Yeah, this is a support frame for the box. Thanks, FedEx. That was FedEx is doing right there. So that should be straight. And we can see what happened. So, not blaming Anycubic for that one at all. That was totally on the shipper. So, but now I've gotten through that frame, I can start getting into the printer here. There we go. All right, and it looks like the printer survived just fine, which is hooray. So, heard good things about the Saturn II. I like the higher resolution of the Saturn II, but I need to do some more research on it, Doug. I plan to. I'll be honest, I spent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pretty much, once I got through my day job, I was in bed. So, which is very abnormal for me. I'm usually a workhorse, but I was just not feeling great. In regard to the CR10 Smart, Doug, I'd save your money. While it has a lot of cool features, I've not heard great things about it. So you may want to just look at the CR10 V2, save yourself quite a bit of money, and get a lot of the good features for it. But yeah, I'll maybe by Tuesday I'll have some research done on the CR10, the Saturn S, or the Saturn II for you. All right, now comes the hard part. All right, we are out of the box finally. So packing wise, the printer was packed really well, because you guys can see where that forklift just plumb went into it. This is the internal cardboard inside the box. Luckily, so where that would have hit was right here, and it doesn't look like it got that far. So, oh man, yeah, this is the Filament M3 Max. So this is supposed to be roughly, we're looking at the same thing like the Frozen that we just saw, 13-inch build plate, if I can get in here to it. So this is another large scale printer, and I'm really hoping that's part of the plastic, or we did get cracked. Nope, we got lucky, no crack. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. There's the leveling paper. We've got a screen protector that comes with it, awesome, with instructions on how to put it on, great. Oh, here's the back of the cover. I'm a little curious what that's gonna be. Let's get into the meat and potatoes here. So that is the lid for the auto refill system, because that's one of the things with that. With this printer is it actually is supposed to auto refill the bag. I'm assuming that's a bracket to hold the bottle of resin that it's refilling with. Oh, here's the important piece. There's the FET bay. I like the extra protection that's on it. So hopefully that will come off really easily. So I'm going to set this aside somewhere careful, and let's keep digging down. Power cord, or part 1 of power cord, part 2 of power cord. That's the thing. Okay, here's the build plate. Ooh. Okay. So we kept the usual Anycubic design. We have the 4-point leveling method. The plate is solid, which is kind of confusing because the Frozen, there were holes. That way when it came down, the resin could come through. So I'm wondering if there's a possibility of an air bubble underneath this one, which is why they did the design the other way. All right. I think, yep, we are. We are ready to get this big hunk of foam off. And actually get down to the machine itself. Let's get these big zip. So these were the zip ties that I cut that you didn't see on video that were holding it all together in the box. Some big hunking zip ties. Now we're down to the LCD, which also has a protective film on it. I really like that. Very interesting. So lots of prettiness. I am going to have to look through the foam some more because I did not see some of the customary things, like the thumb drive, so I may have missed that. There's our bed leveling material and a screen protector, which we will definitely want to install. I'm just going to kind of dig through a little bit to see if I missed something. And we did. Hey David, how's it going? There's all the other pieces like the hoses for the auto refill system, the filters, the putty knives. I always like Anycubic's knives that they send. They send really good knives. And then all the spare tools, the thumb drives and the Allen wrenches, the gloves, yada, yada, yada. The set bolts for the bay. So there's the rest of the materials we were looking for. All right. So we got all the parts out of the box. And to continue doing this, I need to get the box out of the room, so I'm gonna pull this out of the room for a second. Oh. All right. All right, so big differences from the frozen. No enclosure. It's more the old style way with the plastic hard shells. But what's different this time is the hard shell is in two pieces, and this piece actually mounts to the frame, which is very different because usually on the older printers, this whole thing would you just lift the whole frame off. But this is a lot bigger than even the Photon Mono X or any of those. This is a very, very large printer in comparison. Which you can tell the very differences, the way the Z-Rod is, the way the carriage is different. I could care less about the auto refill system. I've heard bad things so far, so I'm kind of curious to see what the review is going to be for that for you guys. But all in all, it is definitely a bench hog. But I like that this comes off, that I can just grab the front frame and take it off. I'm not having to lift that up, which means I can push this back on my tool bench and not have to worry about it, which is a really cool feature and design. So that was really well thought out in the design. So I'm liking that. And of course, the wonderful instructions that I didn't do it their way. So we got an air pipe and we got a feeding pipe for the resin refill system. Definitely got some cables to plug in and check out. Back here on the back for that system, for its power. All in all, for the price tag, so this printer runs about $1,300, I think is what the retail price is, compared to the frozen, which is about $2,900. So there's definitely a bang for your buck difference here. The plastic enclosure, the frozen has a very nice metallic enclosure. The build plates, I'm definitely noticing some differences in the build plates. This is one solid plate, which surprised me. The same size build plate on the frozen has holes perforated through the plate to allow the resin to come through, so you don't get suction or air bubbles underneath your plate. So definitely something kind of I'm noticing. So we definitely have some mounting to do. We have some screws to put in place. So I am going to start working through that before we do anything with leveling, and we're going to get that pump put together. Which, looking at this, I'm not seeing a lot. Oh, there we go. There's the assembly instructions. So to me, this is bad, and I probably won't do it this way. They put the holder for the refill bottle completely on the back of the printer. I feel like that's really bad placement. One, because you've got it sitting back here between the two fans. Two, I can't push it back as far on my build plate. The smarter move, I think, would have been to mount it over here, which I probably will not mount the holder and probably just set the bottle over here. But so this probably will not get mounted on my machine, because why would I want to add a good 5 inches to the back? Someplace that's kind of hard to reach. So that doesn't make sense. I may modify the casing to put it here, but that may be further down the road. So I'm not going to be installing this part. That's my choice, my decision, and I feel like it's just not good placement on the machine. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this tonight. I know, like I said, it's a little out of my ordinary, but you guys didn't get a stream earlier this week, and that was my fault. So wanted to make sure I got in here, and I needed to get this machine out and get moving forward. So all right. So we will start putting some bolts in, get this back plastic piece secured in place, and that wonderful pull off the plastic sound. There we go. So we'll start putting in little screws. Oh, this little guy is going to be a lot harder than what it looks. As long as I've got the right bolts, which it looks like I do. All right. Sorry, guys. I know I'm not. Hey, Reese, how's it going? Yeah, the auto refill has been kind of a mixed review, so I'm kind of curious to see how it going. KMI, welcome. We're just getting this M3 Max put together. Get it ready to go back and meet its shop buddies this week. I am way behind on printing altogether, so kind of taking the time to just get one way to fix being behind on printing is get more printers up and running, and that's what I'm doing right now. Is basically I am behind on print jobs. My printers are all back there churning away, except for the new Frozen that I unboxed a couple weeks ago. I finally got all the parts in, the screen protector, some spare FETs showed up finally. So I'm going to be able to start really kind of getting that machine moving forward. Start churning out some really cool resin prints, I think. And sorry for the sound, guys. I know that's hard on the ears. But right now we're just securing this back half of the body. Now, one thing that kind of concerns me looking at this printer is the glaringly large hole that they have put in the printer for the auto refill system hoses. Now, what I would have thought of, and what I may do, is I may go get a rubber grommet and fit in there. So this machine is high resolution, 13-inch resin build plate, similar to the Frozen, but it doesn't state what the resolution is. I need to look that spec up, which I'll be doing a full video on this one here probably in the next week. So stick around for that for more spec info and that in that video. But basically, this pretty thing is it's similar to the Frozen. It's about half the cost. So, and one of the features on this one that the Frozen Mega 8K does not have is the auto refill system, which I'm curious to see how that works, if it really works. Because one of my concerns is the resin settling in there. Is it going to, is that what the air hose does? Is it keep the resin from settling in the refill bottle, if I even use the refill system? I mean, to fairly test the printer, I am going to have to try it out, but whether I choose to use it long term is a whole other story. So I'm not sure I'm in love with the cover designs right now. This may take some refinement, maybe, before I fully use it. Or this may have a few mods that I've seen some people have already done this. What they've done is, right now, from what this looks like to me, this just sits there, which you've got a machine running, vibrating, and all that kind of stuff. I don't like that. So what I've seen some people have done have drilled holes and put hinges on the top so you can just fold this up. But that may be for another video if I decide to do that mod. But now we've got that in place, but that really bugs me. I'm gonna look for a grommet. So I'm really kind of curious to, because basically we're letting the smell of the resin out. Even though there's hoses and all that stuff going in there, we're not keeping the resin in there. All right, and like I said, guys, I don't like the design of this because it mounts right here in the back, and if you got this sitting on a tool bench, that's a little pain in the butt to reach, so I'm not going to do that. Not tonight. I won't be testing it on stream tonight. So tonight's just getting it put together. We're going to run it through its initial test. I'm not going to do any prints tonight. It's just getting it put together. You'll have to stick around for the video probably this Friday about that. So that gives me a week to test it out, see how it goes. So I probably won't be doing that here. Tonight's just assembly and first impressions. So, and I'm going to be honest, I'm a little spoiled by that Frozen printer. So I'm trying to be fair. All right. So we got our bolts for our bay. I'm actually going to go ahead and plug this in because I want to move that up. And plus I want to hear how loud it is. So I really do kind of want to hear how loud this guy runs. So in Anycubic fashion, it's the big old power brick. So yeah, the vid probably will either be this Friday or next Friday. So new videos are out every Friday. But right now it's just kind of first impressions. And I'll move it into the shop before I actually fill this with resin. And I want to make sure the screen protector is on and everything is looking good. So there we got power. And also during that time, during this week, I'll update the firmware, go through the usual stuff of a new toy. Build a profile, hopefully on Shinto box. Guys, I will be honest, I've switched to the Pro version. Well, I'm in the process of switching, but if there's settings questions, definitely let me know, because I will be zeroing in my settings for this. We're gonna go tools, we're gonna move Z, and I want to move it. Oh, wait, nope, you didn't choose what I wanted. I want to move Z, I want to move it 10 millimeters. Not bad. Not a terrible sound. We'll move that up the rest of the way, kind of get it up out of the way. That, and I want to get it up enough that I can take a look at what this looks like on here. Now, one of the cool things I like about this one's build, this is very different than a lot of these printers that I've seen. You notice that there's a huge box here, which is not really a normal thing, and that's because of this. You're actually setting it up on top and sliding it in place. A lot of the other ones, there's like an arm here, but this is a huge framework that it's going over. Has me a little worried about leveling, but we've got a 4-point leveling system, which Anycubic uses very normally. And that's actually the leveling system I enjoy. Compared to Illigu and the Saturn, where they have the 2-point, I like the 4-point. I think I get a better level, and I think the level holds longer personally. Again, personal use. And then I'm just kind of going through the different things here. The size of that resin bay. Easily a mask. And it's still got the safety materials on it, which is going to be fine. Oh, ooh, okay. So when the bay goes in, this is on a lever that it will push down automatically, and those will detect when the resin's too low and fill in and start pumping in more resin. And this is what you would put into the resin bottles. And I'm a little curious about this because I use a lot of different types of resin, and that looks like that only fits the Anycubic resin bottle. So I'm a little curious to see how that goes. A little curious indeed. Which, working with this initially, I will be working with the Anycubic standard resin, but hopefully moving over to my sponsor eSun and using their tough resin and stuff in here. And the Illigu standard resin. I like the Illigu standard resin for a lot of stuff. So, but I'm also going to kind of get the bolts in here. We're kind of going to see what this guy looks like fully assembled. Sound-wise, I'm not even hearing the fans. So that is really cool. We'll kind of get that simulated into place. So you guys can see, this is a really big build area. A really nice build area. That's easily secured. The Z-Rod is heavy duty, which is really great for what we're doing here. And then basically, well, where did I put Das hoses? And here's the hoses. So we've got a fill hose and an aeration hose. Nice, feel like silicone. The fill hose. It's a lot of like an aquarium hoses. Just slides into place. Then there's a port here for the air hose, which also will just slide on. In place. But again, they're mounting it directly on the back, which I don't like. My bottle is going to sit here on the side. That's personal preference. And then you match them up over here. So that'll go on the 2-point. And the air will go on that 1-point. Just like that. And then you slide that down in your bottle. The only thing that may be a problem with my plan is the power cord, but I have extensions for that, so I probably will buy an extension, and that way I can have it over here to the side. What I may look into is seeing if I can find another bottle that may work a little bit differently. Douglas, thank you for posting the specs, man. I appreciate that. So definitely some stuff to go find and work on here. But that's the base of the printer. The display is not any different than the Photon Mono X's. They look very much the same. I am going to do an exposure test. And my lights come on perfectly. Everything looks right in there. You can see the shine of it. So my LCD is in perfect working condition, which is good. I got to take all the safety films off and all that, but I don't want to do that till I move it back to the shop, where it will start living its life for now. We're going to pull this wonderful plastic off. That's going to be a pain to pull off. Wow, this is really on there. There's nothing like pulling away the fresh wrapper of a new toy, right? So this may be the first resin printer I actually start modding, specifically this enclosure. Because I do have a few concerns about it vibrating off, for one, because that's the last thing I want is, granted, my shop, there's no UV light. It's down in my basement. The LEDs were specifically purchased, oh my goodness, to not have that problem. So definitely some cool stuff there. Wow, this is being a pain. I just want to make you look pretty, Anycubic, and there we go. Now we got that off there. And static cleaning brings it right back. So I'm going to touch the metal, try to get rid of my static. But basically, I don't feel a lot of securing going on there. It's just slipping on and going. Now there is a lip that it connects into, but I may actually buy a thin gasket and put there to kind of give this more of a seal. I definitely will be putting a grommet here to, one, close that off completely. I'll let you guys know what I choose. And we've got an auto refill system to test out. So a lot of cool things. One thing that's kind of impressed me here, and I'm going to talk about this for a second, is there's a leveling paper, which is always great to have, but Anycubic sent a screen protector. If you're going to do any resin printer, buy screen protectors. You will love yourself for doing this, because without these screen protectors, that you get a FEP breach on your LCD, you're probably going to be buying a new LCD, unless you're really patient and using lots of isopropyl alcohol in slow doses to try to get the resin off. So these save your butt. They're real easy to apply. They don't cost a whole bunch. I think for this size printer, for 3, because I bought a 3-pack, because the frozen is the same size, so I was going to use it on both. I think I spent $30 for 3, which they're handy. If the resin gets on there, you just peel it off, put a new one on, you're back to town. So they're definitely worth your money. Also investing in new FEP papers, which in the video when I put this out, I'll put a link to the FEPs that I use with both these big machines. And of course, as always, make sure you're doing everything safe. Get yourself some nitrate gloves. I love that they sent the wipe to clean the screen. That's awesome. And a lot of good little information there. Make sure you're taking safety precautions. a lot of times when I'm back there working in the shop, I got safety glasses on, or I've got my glasses on because I don't want this stuff in my eyes. And another cool thing to have around is these little filters. They can be really handy, especially when you're draining back in, and these have such big bays that you're going to have to drain and clean and get particulate out and all that kind of stuff. So these are definitely handy guys to have around. And of course, if you have any breathing issues or anything like that, these can be a smart move for you. So, all right, guys, well, that's her out of the box. That is a big printer. So the weight on this one is about 30 pounds, which compared to the Frozen, which is about 50 pounds, she's a pretty cool machine. So, but what I'll do is you guys will see a future video with me doing more in detail, actually using the machine. It's a standard leveling process. I'll undo these 4 bolts and then I will level it with the leveling paper here. The bay comes out, but I'll put the screen protector on before I level it. That way it is properly leveled. So awesome. If you guys are new here, or you know, just hit that subscribe button, join the channel. We're doing stuff like this all the time. What's coming up in the next couple weeks? I've got a Prusa i3 MK3S Plus sitting down here in the box. I've got an Ender 3 S1 Pro that needs to come out of the box because I really want to look at that one, because that one is, I feel like, Creality's answer to the Focus's Odin. So I'm really curious to put those two against each other. And just kind of, this is the last resin printer I know about coming anytime soon. So, which we've definitely stepped up the resin game lately. Starting with the Saturn S, the Frozen Mega, Sonic Mega 8K, and now this big guy. The resin game is changing a lot in the shop, and I'm really kind of curious to see how it goes. So if you guys enjoyed the stream or what's going on, make sure you hit that like button. And yeah, $1,100 for this guy. That is ridiculous for that big of a printer. $1,100, where the Frozen's printer is right around $2,900. So expensive piece of machinery, but think of all the models and how big of models that you can, especially if you're wanting to do like a helmet or a faceplate. I mean, you can do it basically almost in 2 pieces with this printer versus with the smaller resin printers having to do it in little bitty pieces. So definitely kind of a change to the game, and the fact that this can come into your household. So one of the things that will be going into this printer is I have the little Anycubic rechargeable filters. He's going to sit over on this side to make sure my air is staying clean. No one wants to breathe in nasty chemicals, right? Right. So lots of cool stuff here. I'm going to get it moved into its final home back there and get this guy started. I am going to have to look for an extension for the power part of the refueling machine. But honestly, that could be something as simple as a cut, splice, add wires, or it could be just a trip to Micro Center. Who knows? I have tons of these laying in the back that I may be able to extend that. So, but we will definitely test that guy out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight. I wanted to do the unboxing with you guys, make sure that, and like I said, I missed you guys. I wasn't overly happy about not having a stream Tuesday, so here we are making up for it on the holiday weekend, and we will still have a stream this Tuesday, which actually, I think we're going to be doing the work with the 3D printing pen and the halo ring. I think we're going to do the terrain, or we're going to get one of those other 2 printers out. I haven't decided yet. So I need to finish that halo ring though. I've got a art show on Saturday or on Friday night that I'm going to, and I'd really like to take that along, but got a lot of 3D pen work to do, so we will see. But I appreciate everybody. Yeah, no breathing chemicals for me. Too many allergies. I hope you guys enjoyed this tonight, getting a first look at this machine, same as me. We're definitely going to do some fun stuff with it. And I'm really kind of hoping I can get more actual video photography of prints coming out. So hopefully a lot of fun to come there. So thank you guys for all joining tonight to the stream, and we will see you guys in the stream on Tuesday.